All right. We are live on Instagram at Baby Mermaid Productions. We are live on YouTube at Baby Mermaid Productions on YouTube. And hopefully we won't be interrupted this day. I hit that. There we go. Now we're live. Okay. So live, recording everywhere. We're good. Hold on. We're on. Hang on. They're setting up. There's something going on. They're telling more followers. Okay, cool. Never mind. That doesn't concern me. That's what the robots are doing. But all that you should be concerned with is this is the Gross Domesticated Podcast Live. It is Wednesday. Two. It's just two. It's just two today. It's all twos. Right, letting the twos ride, baby. Twos all day, every day. And hold on, let me share a little bit. We got interrupted on Monday because of just a little bit of business. I guess the owner of the property in which we rent for Baby Mermaid Productions, as well as our home, is being sold. So it's actually, I believe it is sold at this point, and it's kind of basically when your home is being sold while you're renting it. It's just kind of like being home invaded a bunch. You're just being home invaded a bunch. Sometimes they let you know, sometimes they don't. Everybody's very uh impersonal. There's not very much, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like it's not very helpful in the sense that it doesn't, like, nobody's communicating with us like, hey, we're gonna be in your fucking house tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like sometimes like they just show up. So it, and technically, I don't know if anybody knows this, but Pennsylvania, anybody watching in Pennsylvania or listening in Pennsylvania that may not know this, but I believe Pennsylvania is one of very few states that the landlord doesn't actually have to give you notice before they come to visit you. They do have to knock though. So I did have a weird situation. I don't know if I talked about this or not on the show, but there was a person that showed up one day. I was getting ready for hold on, just sharing this. Gross Domesticated Podcast Live. Okay, there we go. Copy this. Um, but no, I was just one day I was doing some laundry one day, and what's going on, dude? Boo, impromptu. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, Ron, big preem pounding off early up in the comments again. You know, we're late as usual. Don't worry, we'll make up for it. You know, as usual. 2 hours is what I try to keep at least the minimum. So, but yeah, we were almost on time today, so we're getting back into the swing of things. But yeah, it was a weird thing, Ron. Like out of nowhere, I'm getting the laundry ready. I'm going to throw it in the washer, and then all of a sudden, like I hear people just kind of walking, like talking and walking in the front door. And if I remember correctly, I think even that day, like Dom had the car, so there was no car in the driveway. But still, like I feel like there has to be something, has to be like at least a hey, we're fucking coming in or something like that. And so I kind of freaked out, like not freaked out in the sense I was mad. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't necessarily my first instinct was a little bit like what the fuck is going on? Obviously, because it's you know, people just walking into your house. But then I was just like cuz I realized like, oh, these are house people. These house people are coming here to do house business, and like the apartment below us, it's just like a house kind of thing, kind of split up. We get two and three. There's one downstairs. So they're obviously check. Nobody lives downstairs. Go as much, do as much as you want. Who cares? But up here, ring the fucking doorbell. The doorbell works. You know, I can hear. I heard you coming into my house. So why wouldn't I have? I don't know. So either way, I got kind of pissed off. So hold on, let me share this real quick. GDP is live. Come on down and get you some hat. I love. I would take to put that. You know what I mean? Because I want to let people know that they're loved. I may not know that, and whoever sees it, hopefully they think, oh, he sent that to me. That's nice. So we're live here. There we go. Boosh. There we go. All right. At least it's been. But yeah, so they start coming into the house, just like walking in, and I kind of I started kind of rushing, like walking quickly down the stairs, and just saying over and over again, like just basically peppering them with questions as much as I could. Just saying like, who are you? What are you doing here? What's going on? Like never cursing. Also, that's another thing. It's a weird thing that I think I got from the personal. What is it like the when you make a not personal? What am I saying? With the customer service things, a lot of times you're like, as soon as you curse, you kind of lose that argument immediately because they're like, oh well, now I can hang up on you, or I can give up, or I can say fuck you, I'm not going to help you, I don't have to do my job, or whatever it is. It's a weird situation, but a lot of times you may be feeling like fuck you, but you can't say fuck you because it's kind of and also it's really like if you really think about it, like you don't oftentimes need it. Cursing to me is kind of like one of those things that you have in the back pocket in case you need it, or if it's like a reactionary thing. Dom and I have talked about it a million times with our soon to be hopefully children that we will be having, our whole entire family, a whole brood of young Georges running around. Uh, that the conversation about language and context and everything like that is going to be a tough one because she is very much of the mindset that, you know, kids shouldn't curse. That like if there was a situation where like, oh, your son was cursing in school today, I'd be like, what was the scenario? Was it like he was just sitting there and then he just started like shouting cuss words, or was it like more of a like he dropped something and then said shit or damn it, or something like that? Because that's the thing where like don't punish him or her, the hypothetical, whoever it may be, because whatever the situation, they used it in the correct context, and if you punish them for using a word correctly, I feel like it's only going to help them. It's only going to stunt them. And again, not a parent, and that might be a terrible way to think about it. But it's kind of a weird thing. Like I don't necessarily I wouldn't endorse them running around screaming profanity, and especially not like slurs or anything like that. I wouldn't want that. But I would say that if they cursed, like if they stubbed their toe or if they dropped something or hurt themselves and said fuck, then I'd be like, well, no, if you want to punish anybody, you can punish me. You can remind them that maybe that's not, and I will too. Hey, you know what? Take it easy. Some of these other pussies can't handle that kind of talk, because that's the scenario here. Some of these parents are coddling these young children and won't curse directly at them or to them. I don't want to be, it's not like an abuse. I don't want to be scared. I want them just to be knowledgeable of language. You know what I mean? So if they use it correctly, I wouldn't be that angry. But um damn, I forgot where I was going with that. But I essentially don't want to scream profanities at people, even if they're coming into my house uninvited. But when the landlord decided that he was going to put the house up, he let us know. He said, like, is it okay if I give this company your number? The company will, I don't know if this is how they always do it, but if you're living in a place that they're looking to rent, obviously they have to show it. People aren't just going to buy a fucking house without looking at the inside. So I understand that part, but they'll let you know. They'll send you a text that says, or whatever your preference is, like call you, text you, say, hey, these motherfuckers want to look around your house. So I would try. And really, it's not like I'm not necessarily, it's not, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not like even worried that they're going to steal shit, because like, I don't know. Like, I don't know how much necessarily I have of value that they would steal, but also I kind of think, I don't know, like there's record of them being in my house, but I don't know now. Like while I'm here, at one point, somebody just shows up unannounced and I don't get one of those little text messages or anything like that that says, "Hey, these motherfuckers are going to be here between here and here." I don't know. So uh, I was upset. I rushed downstairs and I said, Who is this? What?" So I don't know if there was anybody. I don't think there was. I don't know if there. It was really early on in the show on Monday, but I think the only person that might have been actually currently live with me at that time was Sarah Cartwright, I believe. What's up, wife? How's it going, wife? But I believe it was Sarah who possibly, if I remember correctly, I think might be this Friday, might be here for Facebook Friday. So third guest of 2022 could be possibly Sarah Cartwright, but she was, I think, with us. And I noticed that at first there was uh, Chloe was here on the table, I believe, or there, and Stanley was sitting over there, and both of them started looking downstairs, and I was just like, and I kept trying to hear for something, and there was something. So let me just get back to the home invasion of originally. This is why I was so freaked out on Monday, but people were just coming in. Oh, I thought they let you know through the text. They didn't let me know. I said, so I believe that this was the owner, this older lady, a younger dude, like middle-aged dude, probably, who I think worked with the bank. And then there was another person there. I think maybe it's somebody from the company that was there to, like, the management company, I think, that was there to look around. I think that's what this was planned yesterday, the final walkthrough. So or sorry, Monday. I apologize. Um, but this one was unannounced. So I obviously put them on their heels. They put me in a really pissed off state, and where in a state in which I vowed to Dominique, if this happens again, I'm gonna break their arm first, and then I'm gonna find out who they are, because I would be fully within my right. And that's Florida man. That's in here. That's Florida man in my heart. If there's any more genuine Pat, it's, hey, if you're coming into my house unannounced, I think I should be able to beat you up a little bit, at least hurt you. I don't I don't want to kill anybody. I don't I don't intend to kill anybody, and this is not a threat, but this is a situation where I was telling Dominique, I was vowing to her, this would not happen again without somebody leaving on an ambulance. So, luckily there was notice of it, but I'm sitting up here, guys, and I'm sitting up here Monday live talking to strangers on the internet and people I know as well, trying to do a fucking 2-hour show, getting started, having a tough time anyway, because it's Monday. I'm fucking tired. My brain's scattered anyway. I'm trying to think, okay, if I get this done by 1 o'clock, if I actually can start on time for once and get done by 1 o'clock, they're not scheduled to be here till 1:30. That gives me more time to finish. Like, again, I'm not embarrassed by stuff. I don't really give a shit about that. I just don't like strangers being in my house. And in general, even if they're strangers I don't necessarily want in the house that are allowed to be there, I still kind of I don't want my house to look like absolute garbage. So, do some dishes, try to do some laundry, sweep up a little bit, straighten up, make it look acceptable for the strangers that are coming into the house. So naturally, Monday, I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just sitting here talking to Sarah and some any other peeps that might be joining in. But it was, like I said, early on into the show, and I kept getting distracted and sidetracked because I kept hearing stuff. And I said, like, I swear to God, I couldn't check the text message because it was the phone that I use for the Instagram thing. And I was like, I swear to God, it said 11 or it said 1:30, but did it say 11:30? Are they just coming into my fucking house again? And I was getting ready for blood. I was getting ready to attack. I was going to pounce on these motherfuckers for coming in a goddamn house again, unannounced. Now, I don't know exactly what I heard. If somebody maybe did possibly come in and go, oops, and left. But I believe that might have been the landlord coming here a little bit early, getting the last bit of his shit out of the house before, they, like, getting everything that, because essentially when they come do the final walkthrough, I think what it is like whatever, it's like Lion King. Whatever they see, whatever the light touches is theirs now. So I think he was trying to get his like equipment and tools out that he was using to help, get the place up to snuff. So as long as they were aware, oh yeah, we don't get that ladder or that, fucking end table that you had in there still, then that's whatever. That's what it. So I don't know if he was just like, hey, nobody's here. I'm gonna just, sneak in or whatever. But I'm like, God damn it, man. Monday morning, I tried to get a fucking show going, and every like 2 minutes, I heard something, and I think it was just him fucking around downstairs. But I was like, I swear to God, if somebody's in this goddamn house, I am gonna fucking kill him. It is over now. But luckily, nobody was. Danny might have been there too. I don't know. But we got Craig Pound in here. He said, "Do baby mermaid heads flop around when they swim like regular babies?" Yeah, I would assume so. I know. I think they float. I don't know if they flop around, but they would float a little bit. Baby mermaids, I think, are like a baby shark. I don't even think they think of it. Just it's one and only way to breathe and what to be. You know what I mean? Just to answer your joke question seriously, Craig, I just wanted to make sure and just bring a screeching halt to any kind of comedy that was attempted just now, and say yes. Maybe. I believe Pennywise, the clown, said they all float down here. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everybody floats. Everything floats down there, including poop. I think he was referring to poop. But yeah, so Monday, if you happen to be at all a part of the live on Instagram or YouTube, I think I ended up just erasing the YouTube, and like it's maybe a half an hour, if that, of show, and then I just had to go. It was over because I couldn't get my brain straight. Couldn't tell if somebody was trying to break into not even break into the house, just walk into the house. And I'm relieved that for the time being, I believe the house is sold. We got new most likely Baby Mermaid Productions will be getting a new home in the coming months, probably by mid 2022. Hopefully, maybe around the summer, we should be moving into some new digs and getting a whole new studio. So big changes, big 2022 coming for Baby Mermaid Productions and Pat George, hopefully personally. Just to speak of that, just real quick, while I got all you here, check out any of the other shows that are on the network. 6 a.m. podcast, it's Jiu-Jitsu podcast that co-host with my Jiu-Jitsu instructor, Jeff Beck, who is very fun and hilarious. We got a lot of audio only episodes coming out for the next couple weeks. That's kind of part of it. Just to tear back the curtain a little bit, just to show you, we are trying to figure out the video for 6 a.m. So as of now, until further notice, 6 a.m. podcast are audio only. Trauma Hood, speaking of audio only podcasts, is the one that my beautiful wife hosts, all about getting over mental illness issues, or what is it? I'm trying to think of all the nice ways to say things. You're not suffering that you're living with. That's what it is. All of the mental health issues that people may be. Yeah, that's right. Whoop whoop. I thought she said whoopee, and I was like, we'll get to whoopee in a second. But she said whoop whoop. She's in the. She is not a juggalo, but she is in the comments pounding off right now. Trauma Hood podcast. She talks about all that mental health stuff. It's her fun. She loves it. It's her wonderful hobby. We figured that out. She is mentally CrossFit. She is trying to become mentally healthy enough for both of us, and she's doing a great job so far. What else? Falls Count Anywhere. We did a great. Well, that's what I was starting to talk about. I started talking about the Royal Rumble weekend live stream that we did with Falls Count Anywhere. Shout out to Manny. Shout out to Youngblood. Shout out to Mike and everybody else, Ian, everybody that pounded off live, that was here, that joined on Zoom. Shout out to fucking God damn it, what was his name? Tucker. I believe it was Tucker in Cincinnati that was joining in with the live stream that ended up going to Monday Night Raw the next night, or 2 nights later, Monday, obviously, and had a sign proudly supporting FCA Pod. Hashtag FCA Pod. Was prominently shown throughout the broadcast. Manny caught a still of it. I believe he did share it on his, as well as the Falls Count Anywhere page. So check that out. That's fucking awesome. What else? Oh yeah, Proper Bonics, of course. There's video episodes and audio only episodes. You can catch me doing stand up in Carlisle, PA. I'll be doing stand up there for, I believe that's the Comedy and Magic show. So that'll be fun. Me and Manny are on that one. You can come see me compete at a jiu-jitsu competition if you want. I don't know. You want to watch me grapple with some other dudes? Hopefully winning. Definitely winning. I got to earn those Dunkaroos. I have a case of Dunkaroos that I have not opened that say that they are best by the first of this year, but Dunkaroos don't go bad. Dunkaroos start out bad, baby, and they stay bad. So I want to earn. I made again another vow that I made to Dominique that she had nothing to do with. Actually, saying like she didn't say that she needed me to do this. She didn't say that. You know what? If you don't get gold, you can't have Dunkaroos. It's something I did to myself. So I if I don't get gold there, those Dunkaroos will stay unopened, which is probably for best. That's probably the best. It's probably the best that I don't eat those Dunkaroos. But also shit in the hat. Shit in the hat. Probably, and this is no offense to past lineups, but I have been on every one of them. This looks like it's going to be the most fun, because it's a lot of either old podcast or old comedy friends of mine. Like it's a lot of people. I believe Manny's back on it, who has also been on every one of the Shit in the Hat. I want to bring that up. Every one of the Shit in the Hat comedy showcases hosted by Michael Donnell at the Harrisburg Comedy Zone have featured ya boy as well as Manny. So make sure you come out and support. It's a free comedy showcase where you guys pick the topics and or lines, anything. You write it on a card, you fold it up. Nobody knows it's you. There's a lot of weird racial stuff that I'm sure people were really happy to get away with. Come vent. You know what I mean? You'd be like, what's the deal with black people? And people go like, well, you got to make it funny now, Pat. If you say, what's the deal with white people? I had that one. And you know what? I had to figure it out. And guess what? I figured out it's kind of on everybody else. Why were you listening to us this long if we were this lame? What else? Guess I'm not fun. No, it's fine. I'm doing fine. Well, guess what, Avery? I said every lineup. You weren't on every lineup. But the lineups that you are on, those are always fun. Avery, he's pounding off all the way from Connecticut, guys. I don't know anybody that chooses to move to Connecticut, but Avery did it, and God bless you for it. I appreciate it, buddy. Also, you can see me in Anvil, PA, and then, like I said, check out the Falls Count Anywhere live stream. That was there. If you haven't watched the most recent Royal Rumble and you want to watch it, you saved it up for some reason. No spoilers, but and you want to watch it with kind of like a companion. If you want to watch it with the show, just click that, and then and then you can watch it there too. Just have two screens ready. All I'm asking is for you to give us views, watch my content, like it, subscribe. Audio only versions of GDPLive are what I'm focusing on here, guys. If you want to help the show out at all, aside from pounding off, you can also ask to join if you want. If you're on Instagram, you're more than welcome to join the show through that. You can call the show. I got the phone lines open here, 717-559-2971. You can also text the show, email the show at babymermaidproductions@gmail.com. It is open for what's it called? Companionship? Not companionship. What's the other thing? Cooperation? What the fuck is the word? Hold on, I gotta think a little bit. Oh, and I made new drops. Oh yeah! Instagram, but everybody else can right now. Oh! We had a lot of fun. God damn it! What cooperation? Damn it! I can't think of the fucking word. I'll think of it. No, I won't. I don't know why I said that. I promised you guys something that I can never deliver on. But we had a lot of fun talking about with Manny about the David Lee Roth No Music. If anybody's ever checked that out, the No Music audio track for David Lee Roth. We had a lot of fun with words on on the show with Manny. With that was last Facebook Friday, where John Montag joined the show. We got a very fun retelling of one of the best jokes he's ever had told against him in the roast battle. What is it? Co-pilot? No, I was trying to think of like collaboration. That's the fucking word. God damn it. Thank you. But thank you, KCC. You just sparked that. I appreciate that, Casey. One of the OG peeps right there, Casey Nicholson, pounding off. helping the show. Pat's needs like current speech therapy. I need continuous speech therapy my whole entire life because otherwise I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about most of the time. So but today is Groundhog Day, which I also discovered just today is called Groundhog Day, not Groundhog's Day. Never knew that. Today. I'm 35 years old, and today was the day that I found out it is not called Groundhog's Day. I also found out today that I don't know if every state has a groundhog. Maybe that's something I can look up here. Does every state have a groundhog? I found out today, apparently New Jersey's groundhog died before. So I don't know what happened. The headline I read was what does it mean when the groundhog dies before it can give you its reading or its weather report? What states have groundhog? No, I know every state has Groundhog Day. What is most famous? No, what the fuck? Why? I don't understand why this. At least 6 other states. Okay, that's what it is. I don't want to like. I'm not here to fucking. I love that with Google. Every time that you try to go like, it's the same thing. Why I don't. I know I never use. I won't say her name. That one lady with the S and it ends with an I. Siri. That's what I want to say. I'll just say it. But Siri, every time you ask that lady a question, she always just she just Googles it for you. And it never actually gives you, but I hate it when you actually put it into Google and then Google just re-Googles it. They're like, yeah, I wonder too. Huh. Like I say, does every state have a groundhog? Like that's pretty clear. Like I'm not being literal. Like not does every one state have one particular groundhog and that's it. I know other states have more groundhogs, more than one. But does Sarah? Hey Sarah, what's going on? Listen to the beginning of the show to find out what happened yesterday. Because like again, Sarah was the only one there. But Sarah's there in the Instagram feed. But it's not like it's a pretty fair question to ask. Does every state have its own like particular groundhog? The one that their weather telling groundhog or whatever. But when I did that, the top result is Punxsutawney Phil isn't the only famous groundhog. And then it's just at least 6 other. I'm not just yes or no. Yes or no. Why can't it just be literal? So like when you go like, hey Siri, what's the hottest state? And it's just like, here's a list of the hottest states in America. Like, nope, just the hottest. You just say it. You're already saying words. If I say, hey, what's the hottest blah blah blah, you give me the hey Pat, here's the hottest blah blah blah. And even, qualify it if you need to. According to the most recent reports, here's the hottest state, or here's how many groundhogs there are per capita. But like, give me some kind of specific like, here are the 6 states that have groundhogs. Boom, there you go. One of them's dead. New Jersey had died before they could do the thing. And then I also found out there was another one that got dropped. It seems like it seems like actually, you know what? That's a Googleable thing. I'm going to give it a Google here, but I don't know how well this is going to work. What the hell is Groundhog? Yeah, I guess I'll just say what the hell is Groundhog Day? Groundhog Day is primarily American holiday during which a groundhog determines the weather. Yes, I know that, guys. I know what it is. Why is it? Let me say that. Why the hell is Groundhog Day? Don't want the what, want the why. Groundhog Day has roots in early 18th century Pennsylvania Dutch culture and even deeper roots in ancient European weather myths. The primary ancient weather myth, I just added a word there. The primary ancient myth involves a bear or badger emerging from hibernation and determining the arrival of winter depending on whether or not it sees it. So it's just a stupid thing. It's just a thing. How the hell does Groundhog Day even work? Ron's pounding off, and he says, "I'm working in another window and can't type so many things I've wanted to pound." Oh, I appreciate it, Ron. Ron, just the fact that you're expressing your want to pound is enough. Trust me. I appreciate Big Preem pounding off when you can. Take your time. If you want to go back to a subject, just make a note. Just have a little piece of paper next to you, like I do. I try to have some paper. A lot of paper for a guy who's illiterate. I use a lot of writing and reading, but it's really, that's words, just being human. Okay, guys, I'm not a fucking groundhog. So it's just it's the same thing. Like, how, like, oh well, basketball was invented because people used to throw heads in baskets or something, or whatever the fuck that is. Like, you see that shit all the time. Maybe not all the time. Maybe I'm just making that up. But what the hell is Groundhog Day? It's just the same thing, only it used to be either a bear or a badger, and I guess they mix. So is a bear and a badger mixed a groundhog? And them seeing their shadow. What is the shadow thing, though? What is the shadow thing? 8 fascinating. That's all right. That's probably subjective. Interpretations of a Groundhog Day. Nah. The only, so far from what I've noticed, the only thing, and it just kind of, it goes into this. This is my point. The only good thing really to come from Groundhog Day seems to have been the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, which is a great fucking movie. I can't even say underrated because I think it's appropriately rated. Rated?
Ah, yes.
So I don't know. It's a I couldn't. I'm not gonna. I don't want to go into too much research with like what Groundhog Day is. I was just stunned to find out it was called Groundhog Day when there are at least 6 states that have groundhogs that tell the weather, much like those ancient European bears and badgers, and I don't like it. Doesn't make any sense. I do think it's cool that it's all 2s today, though. That's pretty cool. It's just today's date is 2, just a bunch of times, either a couple times. I think I saw somebody even reference the what's his face, Mitch Hedberg joke. The press 2 for a while. It's 2 for a while today. It's pretty cool. That's I also there's weird facts that I feel like that are interesting in the moment. Like when you hear it initially, your first thought is like, oh shit, I didn't know that. And then and nobody ever gets to the second thought. I feel like that I always seem to get to, which is, why would I know that? How would I know that? Somebody saying, this is the last time, I think today is the last time it's going to be all it's the last time it's only going to be one number in the date or something like that. I can't remember, something like that, until 3,000 or whatever. It's like, that's not even a fact, by the way. I just sputtered bullshit. It was something I heard that was like, this year is the last year where the date will only be 2 numbers. Like if it's like 2,000, like one, like 2 different numbers. I fucking sound like John on Friday. But it's like, they're stupid, useless facts that you initially go, wow, and then you go, okay. It's like when people say like, oh, you could see a comet, not a comment, a comet, for that only comes by every 175 years. And if you miss it, you're like, yeah, all right, well, that's it. It's cool if you get to see it, but if you don't get to see it, it's also like, yeah, okay, no biggie, no big deal. But happy Groundhog Day, everybody. Nobody gets a day off of work. I'm sure in those 6 towns where it might be a kind of a big deal, people may take off for like the local parade or something like that. But I don't think there's anything really too much about it being besides it just being a pretty cool movie. I don't know why. I don't know anybody that gives an actual shit about it. So And then we moved to Pennsylvania, not to the Pittsburghy side, but the more Philly side. So I think that's more on the western side of the state. So we don't even experience that kind of excitement, like even locally. So all I know, still the only facts that I know really about Groundhog Day, except for that just peripheral little goog that I just did, I don't really know anything else. So it's pretty cool. I found out today also that Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View because of I heard about her. I heard her weird ass comments. I've also found out when I was listening to another show, and they were talking about all of the past things, like the weird accumulation of like weird shit that she's done over the years. And at the time, I don't think she had been suspended. I think she was trying to apologize. She said some shit yesterday, or no, sorry, day before yesterday. Let's say that Monday during The View, said some wild shit about the Holocaust, about how it wasn't about race, and kind of tripped over her words a little bit, got talked to a little bit, I think, maybe by her bosses, and then went on Stephen Colbert that evening to apologize and to kind of explain and clarify. I don't know exactly what to do there, and then ended up fucking herself, I guess, more possibly. Maybe it wasn't apology enough or anything like that. So Whoopi Goldberg was suspended from The View. I'm sure she'll be back. I, I don't know. I always thought of like this was something I was realizing during that as well. So let me look up Whoopi Goldberg. Oh, her real name. Oh, her name is Karen. Well. I think we just discovered something, everyone. Whoopi Goldberg's real name, apparently, not her performance name, is Karen Elaine Johnson. Karen Johnson, huh? Caryn. Even a fun spelling. That explains a lot. Mystery solved. Again, thanks, Google. See, sometimes they give you the answers you didn't know you were looking for. Sometimes Google does do that. Sometimes it is, hey, did you know Whoopi Goldberg's not I would never have guessed that wasn't her real name. And I don't know if that's being naive or if that's just being just accepting of people having different names. See that? See how I said that? Pretty considerate there, huh? I'm growing. I started this show so that I would learn and I would grow and I would be better. And I think I'm doing it. A lot better than old Karen here. That's crazy. Her name's fucking Karen. Take that, Whoopi. Wow. She's 3 years older than my mom. That's pretty cool. What else? So is Whoopi Goldberg Jamaican? How did Whoopi get her name? See, we're not talking about her name right now. We're talking about the fact that this wonderful entertainer from Sister Act and Sister Act 2. I personally have no issue with Whoopi Goldberg or really even The View. I hear a lot of people talking shit about The View and saying like, "Oh, these fucking ladies, blah blah blah," or saying that they're like, it really is just kind of like a lot of the daytime television is kind of the applause getters. You know what I mean? Like you just kind of like say things people can agree with, and that's it. Like there's not a lot of doesn't seem like a lot of entertainment. It's just kind of I think another place that people get their news and or entertainment news. So I have no issue for it because I don't think it's for me. I don't feel like it's an issue that I have like it's not meant for me or anything like that. We get some pound in here from Sarah. She says Whoopi is the only one on The View that that what is it? That shuts everyone up for commercial break. Oh, okay. So she's kind of the QB. She's kind of the one that says like, "Hey, all right." I thought didn't Barbara Walters used to do that? I honestly I know nothing about The View. I hear a story about Whoopi Goldberg saying some crazy shit. Uh, controversy, maybe? Oh, it's just contract. Controversy. Definitely didn't spell it right. Nope. That's what it was. Apologize in The View after Holocaust controversy. Um, The View co-host barely acknowledged Whoopi Goldberg missing from the table. The longtime host was suspended for controversial comments about the Holocaust. So I think maybe past comments. So I think that was the thing. Was there's been like I'm trying to find the story that I was talking about that I heard about. I stand correct. Yeah, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. Okay, well, that's my bad. I did not know it was about race. But I think no. She said like there was some story, past stories or whatever about her saying something about like she was in support of Mel Gibson. She was in support of, hey, how's it going, Manny? She was in support of like Mel Gibson. She was like she was in support of like Bill Cosby, Mel Gibson. Like she took the opposing, or let's say less popular view on every subject. So even I love you too, Manny. Even on the subject of the Holocaust, apparently, Whoopi Goldberg was like, you know what? It wasn't about race. Let's not bring race into it. She was just like, it's just about how people treated each other. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. I'm not quoting directly, but it's not that far off, I don't think, from what I just said. So apparently, Whoopi Gold, we do have a View fan, at least, or at least a View observer, and and Sarah here. I almost said your screen name, but I feel like there's controversy, but it's pretty well explained once you actually find out what Whoopi Goldberg's real name is, and apparently it's fucking Karen. Asked and answered. I really thought that was going to be like a harder thing to try to figure out. Like I was trying to figure out why. So, because she is a comic, she's a stand-up comedian, and stand-up comedians, at least in maybe even in her era back in that day, were like you could stand out easily by being a contrarian. It kind of is the same way now, but there's sides to everything now. So like just taking a stance that is like that to say like I don't even know how it came up. I don't even know how the subject came up of the Holocaust, but I think she brought it up. She's like, "Oh yeah, and by the way, the Holocaust, right? Here's a perfect example. Guys, you're going to love this. Here we go." And so I don't know if that's a situation that is like didn't seem well thought out. Let me just say that. It wasn't perfectly well thought out. But if that's your view, hey, if that's your perspective, she should be allowed to share it, I guess. But also she was immediately corrected. So I think that's why, because I don't know if that show, maybe you know, Sarah, but I don't know if is that live? I don't think that's live. Isn't that pre-taped? So if they did show that, they obviously thought like, okay, well, I either somebody I mean it was a kind of a big chunk of the show. Maybe you wouldn't be able to just cut it out. I don't know, but I was watching a YouTube video today of like it was a list of 9. It was one of the weirder lists I've ever seen. Somehow my ghost list views somehow put me in an algorithm to see shocking videos, list of like shocking videos, or it's not just paranormal shit. Like now it's just like, hey, watch this guy almost get fucking run over by a train or something. Like I don't necessarily get off on that shit. I like ghosts, but I don't want to see him get turned into a ghost necessarily. So there is a lane that I got into, and it was like the 9 most shocking videos never shown to the public or something like that. And I don't even understand how how do you know? So so there was the list was fucking wild. I'll tell you what. There were some stories I was not aware of. But like one of them was like Grizzly Man. One of them which was all audio. It's obviously not tape, but it's a bunch of like the Don Brancho SeaWorld one, stuff like that. Where I was like, I fucking knew she particularly. I figured there would be a tourist tape that would eventually leak of the Don Brancho getting eaten by a goddamn whale video, or whatever situation. I thought there would be a video of that, but I don't, as far as I know, still not released. And according to this list of crazy fucking videos that nobody ever saw except for a couple people. There was, I don't even know how you can make that list. That's what I'm saying. Is like, these are lists of videos that are crazy we hear. The basement tapes for the Columbine kids was one of them. I'm just giving the list away, but I don't know how I ended up in that algorithm. Yeah, it's live-ish. Okay, so it's live. So that makes sense. Casey said, that's from Sarah. Casey says, I got to schedule the time to come on the show and talk Ghost again. Hell yeah, absolutely. You absolutely, Casey, anytime. Like I said, I posted it. I don't see, this is the problem with Facebook, not Facebook. This is the problem with me understanding social media. That's the problem. Problem isn't social media, it's me. I post a thing. It's it now, to be honest, it was just the logo of the show, like the little fun little Photoshop bullshit that I do. It's not clean, it's not good. It's just a little thing that I put up there just to so I can put the words that say, "Hey, if you want to be a guest, just let me know." As far as I know, the only one that read the actual post, the words underneath the picture on Instagram, I think was Manny, who is has an open invitation, as do most of the peeps I think that are pounding here. If you ever want to join the show on Instagram, all you got to do is hit the ask to join, and I'll hit that, and then you'll be on the show. Your audio will be saved. The video is deleted at the end, though. If you want to call in the show, you can call in the show 717-559-2971 at any time. If you're listening to this at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can call that number. It's not my cell phone number. Don't worry. You won't wake me up. If you want to be on the show as well, if you want to be a guest co-host, just like Manny is oftentimes, or Dom is when she's available, please just hit me up in that DMs if you want, or just comment on that fucking post, like I said, because that's what the comment said. Said, hey, anybody that wants to be on here, please just let me know here, and I'll book it. Sarah, I reached out where we were talking about movies anyway. She was telling me how much of a great idea she thought Classic Pat was. So there, look for episodes of Classic Pat. Already, one episode is going to be me and Manny watching Citizen Kane, which is probably going to suck. I honestly don't know. I want to find out. Not only do these classic movies, if they hold up, apparently, to whatever. I would like to have guests on that either have or have not seen them. I would rather, if they haven't seen a classic movie, that they would let me know what movie they want to see, and we can watch it together. But as of right now, one classic movie we have, Citizen Kane. I want to find out, is this still a classic movie? Is this still considered one of the greatest movies? Because coming from somebody who has not seen it at all, who also kind of honestly kind of hates movies. I don't love movies necessarily. But when I like a movie, oh man, do I like it. Obviously, because I'll just pull a bunch of clips from
Fuck
it.
them.
Use it for drops.
Fuck them. I want to hang up on you now.
I use that for the phone. Isn't that fun? It's fun for the show. It gives it more of that radio feel like I was talking about earlier. Again, subscribe to the audio only, guys. You're going to love it. You're going to enjoy it. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg's currently suspended from The View. Apparently, they don't even barely acknowledge it on the show. See, that's why I said, I think early on last week about Doug Loves Movies. Doug Loves Movies? Yeah, we can watch Doug Loves Movies if you want. No, I want to be what I feel like, what I thought of podcasting eventually was a long form conversation / interview / and bringing the live element into it, I think can kind of bridge the gaps to, for some reason, there was a weird, like, almost like controversy, not even controversy, hatred between like radio people and podcasters. And then like the shutdown happens, and then you realize radio people are just podcasters that don't have the equipment at their house. That's all they are. So, or you are very formulaic and you just throw to music, or you just throw to and then you're just hosts of things. It takes somewhat of some skill that I'm still trying to develop, obviously. But the audio only versions of these, I don't think like that. I want to get back to the long conversation. So like, yeah, well, it doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I feel like you can break it down. So Citizen Kane, maybe it sucks for not just because it's an older movie, but because of the story. Maybe the story sucks. Maybe the acting sucks. Things, things change, things appreciate, things depreciate. I feel like both, So either way, you can find out if the classics hold up or anything like that. But those shows like The View, shows like The Talk, shows like the anything where they're meant to, we get into the subjects and go over them. They already have all of their thoughts and feelings well thought out, written down into short little soundbite that they can say, get applause for, and then go to the next thing. It's so overly produced, especially for a live show. The live format's supposed to kind of feel like anything can happen. Like, oh, you're being home invaded in the middle of the show and it's got to stop halfway, a half an hour in. Could be that. Could be uh, you know, I've had shows where, you know, I've had to wrangle cats on top of producing and hosting and taking, talking to people that are in other states or something like that. Like there's other situations that's like that's like the lamest multitask ever. Oh, I had to have my camera phone on me while I sprayed my cats with water and then also talked to Manny, who's not in another state. But hey, by the way, that guy's name was Tucker, right? I wanted to shout him out too. If you're still on there on pounding off on YouTube. Uh, but yeah, I just, for them being like, here's our point of view, here's our talk, here's a conversation, here's whatever. It's just like 10-minute, 5-minute segments in between commercials that are really just, here's us introducing the thing, here's me explaining the thing a little bit, and then here's each one of us saying one or two sentences about it, and that's it. Yeah, Tucker. Hell yeah. Shout out to Tucker. He's a real one. The true king in Cincinnati. He must be fucking living it up right now. Is he a Bengals fan? No, he moved to Cincinnati from PA, right? That guy must be living it up right now. Bengals are in the Super Bowl. Dom and I watched. That's what I started talking about as well. Was us watching football over the weekend for like the first time in fucking forever. I can't remember the last time I watched fucking football. It was cool because we weren't invested in the Bengals necessarily, but Dom's dad or stepdad or whatever, Greg, who's from Cincinnati, loves the Reds, loves the Bengals. Like he loves Ohio State too. He doesn't love Cincinnati's college team, and I can't remember exactly why. But everything else is Cincinnati. So we were kind of like, yeah, we'll watch it. We'll root for him. We'll even eat some. We got chips and queso. We got chicken fingies and fries. We're living it up. We're having football Sunday, baby. And I realized that the what was it? The name changing and everything and all the teams. I just found, I think it was just earlier today, right? Just this morning, I think they announced Washington. Hold on. Yeah, Commandos. Oh, it's the Commandos or the Commanders? Oh, the Commanders. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So Washington Commanders is 3 hours ago. The Washington Commanders. So the Washington football team, formerly the Washington Redskins, are now known as the Washington Commanders. Um, the one thought I had, really, because watching football, it's a lot of downtime. It's a lot of downtime. But the Washington Commanders are the answer to an insensitive. I'm doing Instacart right now. Oh, that's okay. Okay, that's cool. I got the phone line open, Manny. Don't you worry, buddy. Um, but yeah, the I was watching the Chiefs versus the Bengals on CBS football, and I noticed that they were playing in Kansas City, Missouri, and around the stadium or whatever, like they have different, like they have like, this is, if it's the Sharks, if it's a Sharks game, NHL game, it's like the Shark Tank, look out, like, this is a shark where all the Sharks fans, this is where we prey on our enemies. So Chiefs, that's the weirdest. I don't know why. I noticed it and it bothered me so much. First of all, the Kansas City Chiefs, they have arrowheads. It's Arrowhead Stadium, I believe. I don't know why that's not necessarily an issue. I'm not even necessarily getting into that part of it. I have more of an issue with the in their little fan zone area is called the Chiefs Kingdom. So wouldn't it be the king, like kings, the kingdom? Couldn't it be just the Chiefs? Why is it the Chiefs Kingdom? Are chiefs and kings different? Aren't they different? And then why not just like change the name now? You're just be the Kansas City Kings. Kansas City Kings, baby. Say it, it rolls right off the tongue. Just change it now. Change it ahead of time. Because I'm assuming it's eventually it would happen to everybody that has I know that the Seminoles have some kind of agreement, I believe, with the Seminole tribe, I believe, that where they're like, yeah, you can use the name, it's cool, whatever. Are chiefs and kings different? Question mark. Let's see. What is it? The people usually choose chiefs either directly or indirectly, whereas kings are hereditary. Sorry. Chiefs usually do not have any permanent administrative mechanism. They depend on the support of the king's folk and other followers. At the same time, the king was supported with the administrative system. So, is a chief the same as a king? King refers to a ruler of a country or independent state, whereas chief refers to leaders, or refers to a leader of a group of people with a common origin, race, or place of residence. So chiefdom. So like, wouldn't it be like the chief's den, or like the chief's house? What's a chief's house called? How about that? This chief's kingdom doesn't sound right to me. Chief and king are two different things. So wouldn't you have it be what's a chief's house called? There we go. Getting down to the real fucking answers here. I like how it doesn't answer it, but then the people also ask, "What's a chief's house called?" Hey, I just fucking asked that. It's the weirdest thing. Google, you fucking idiot. From Wikipedia, a house of chiefs or house of traditional leaders is a post-colonial assembly, either legislative or advisory, that is recognized by either a national or regional government as consisting of, oh, Jesus Christ, this is boring as fuck. Now I see why I understand that now. Why is it called? No. So wouldn't you call it House of the House of Chiefs or the House of Traditional Leaders? Yeah, that sounds fun. But Chiefs Kingdom, I don't know. You got to figure something else, man. Like you can't say like the Chief's Den. I think sounds pretty cool. Chief's Den. That sounds good. The chiefdom. I don't know.
Oh!
I don't know. I can't think of what else to call it, but the Chief's Kingdom just doesn't sound right to me, because it would be the King's Kingdom, not the Chief's Kingdom. It would be the Chief's. What is a Chief's Kingdom? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. If I had gone to that game, I would not have been able. I would have just been looking for management to ask them, like, why do you name it that? Because I feel like that's two different things. I don't know. What's the oxymoron? Not an oxymoron. What's the double negative? I can't think of the right phrase. Again, Casey, please help. No, there's a not a double neck, but like jumbo shrimp. You know what I mean? Oxymoron. I think that's what it is. But yeah, I can't wait to not be home invaded until until finally we find out who the Super Bowl champion is. I also found out that Andrew Glessner sounds a lot like Tony Romo, or Tony Romo sounds a lot like Andrew Glessner. I don't know which one it is, but Tony Romo's he's fun. He's fun to listen to. He seems to commentate the football like somebody who is better, like he's better at football than them, or he he can. I don't. He sounds like he would be a really good coach. I don't know what it is. I know that this has all been shit that people have talked about for years. Hey, Tony Romo's good on the fucking headset or whatever. But like I as a person who doesn't give a fuck about football that much, actually watching a football game and going like, hey, Tony Romo's pretty good. Like I feel like that's even more of a compliment because like you actually made it like entertaining. And he's explaining shit. He's like, yep, they're gonna go right here. This is gonna go this way. And not in like a condescending way, but more of a like it just seemed very knowledgeable. It was crazy. Like it's nuts to me. It still astonishes me that the lanes people find. Like I used to think it's so like interesting that like I went to a school where uh that taught music production, and when I'm learning from people, my initial thought while they're explaining their like resumes and stuff like that was kind of like, yeah, but you're here. You know what I mean? Like how good are you really if you worked with like Prince and like this person and that person? And then I learned that's when I learned years later all about perception is reality. So they're building up a portfolio and they do have that experience, but just because you work with Prince once or twice doesn't mean you become Prince's best fucking friend. He just, is cool with how you work. So he appreciates it. So he wants to work with you again, if that's the case, or not. It's just professionalism. That's all it is. So once you learn about that and learning that maybe some people decide, I'm not going to be a superstar. So why am I going to keep pursuing a thing that I can still do in another facet and still really love or teach? I think it was the phrase that like, uh, those who can't teach or no, those who can't teach Jim. That's what I used to hear. That's the thing I heard before. So I don't know if that's the situation or are we gonna call here? Let's find out. See if this works.
Call from
Burp.
Hello?
Hello?
Hey, is this Burp?
Hello, yeah. Hey, it's me, Burp.
Hey Burp. Thanks for calling in. How's it going today?
It's good. Wow, this is I'm so nervous right now. I
You
don't know
should
what
be.
to what should I talk about? I'm first time, long time.
Well, where are you calling from?
Well, I'm sitting in a parking lot right now. I'm waiting
Cool.
for some work here.
You doing some shopping?
Yep, doing some shopping, doing some, helping people out with their groceries and stuff.
How do you feel about Joni Mitchell and Dave Grohl wanting to take their music off of Spotify because of Joe Rogan?
Well, I don't know who Joni Mitchell is,
That's awesome.
so I don't really care about her.
Okay.
But Dave Grohl, is he taking away Foo Fighters and Nirvana, or?
I don't know if he can do Nirvana, but I think he would do at least Foo Fighters because
That's a big loss.
I think that's all he would have the rights to because I think he was all of Foo Fighters at least at the start. So maybe all of that shit was kind of under. I don't know. How do you think the rest of Foo Fighters feel about that?
How do you think what?
The rest
Spotify?
of the Foo Fighters. You know what I mean? The Foo Fighters that aren't like celebrities that can go on like Dave Grohl or like Dave Grohl, Jimmy Kimmel or something like that and just be like a guest as Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
Like,
it must suck for them.
Yeah.
They just have to kind of just like be like, all right, we have literally no say in this. It's all Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
That's a Dave vehicle.
No, I think that's like Joni Mitchell. I think is like one of those old timers that has like yeah. I can't. Yeah, I know, Ron. If you want to hear the call, unfortunately, you got to go to YouTube because I don't have the pro sound going through there. I apologize, buddy. But I'm talking to Manny.
YouTube is better.
YouTube's better anyway. That's what Manny said on the phone. You can't hear him, but no, there's a Joni Mitchell. I think has. Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. I think Joni Mitchell might be like a one hit thing, but I don't know.
Oh, really?
Songs maybe. I mean, I would put up Joni Mitchell songs. Both sides now. River. I think River might be her biggest one. Big Yellow Taxi. Yeah, I don't think. I think Joni Mitchell.
The name kind of sounds familiar, but I can't even like put a face to it. I have my phone on me. I can just look.
Hold on. Yeah, River sounds familiar. Let's see if I can. Okay, this is gonna play an ad, obviously. But no, I'll play a little bit. I'm probably gonna get kicked off. All right, I'm going to YouTube. Hell yeah, fuck yeah, Casey. Casey's going to YouTube, Manny.
See, that's where you want the traffic anyway. You don't need the Instagram traffic. You need the YouTube traffic.
I don't know this. Yeah, I don't know that song.
Yeah. Well, here's an interesting topic.
Do what?
What is Joni Mitchell's disease?
She has a disease.
She has a disease. I can't see it because my phone's going super slow.
Oh.
Morgellons disease. She has Morgellons disease.
Okay, she got Morgellons disease. So does that have her? What does that have to do with it?
I have no idea.
Why does Joni Mitchell? Hold on, Joni Mitchell, Spotify. I'm gonna take both of my songs off of Spotify. How do I quit Spotify?
Yeah, I'm gonna take all 3 of my songs off of Spotify.
Oh, it says, why was Joni Mitchell removed from Spotify? She will remove her music from Spotify in protest of Joe Rogan's popular podcast, and she believes spreads misinformation about COVID-19 and vaccines. Mitchell's move follows Neil Young's decision to pull his catalog off of streaming platform for the same reason. Mm-hmm. Also, Dom.
Did you see what?
Dom told me. So okay, there's a woman that Dom really likes. She's a big fan of. Her name is Brene Brown. Have you heard of her? You have?
I might have. I'm not sure.
See, that's another person that I'm like, I only hear Dominique talk about Brene Brown, but I'm very supportive of my wife, and I tell her all the time, like, hey, I try to say like perspective or perception is reality for sure. She's the biggest person in like Dom's world, but she was like, yeah, Brene Brown is pulling her podcast off of Spotify too, with Joni Mitchell and Dave Grohl. And I was like, man, this is really starting to seem like less of a protest and more of like a publicity kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, because it's gonna help. It's definitely gonna help their like listens in the long run. Because people are like, who the fuck is Joni Mitchell?
Exactly,
and then they're gonna look her up.
Exactly, they're gonna be like,
just like you did.
Mitchell songs do I know?
Yeah. So did you see Joe Rogan's like response to all that?
Yeah, he did a thing like saying like he told that Neil Young security story about him working security back in like in Boston or somewhere. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah.
And then some other thing, like him just kind of saying like, all right, it's fine. Doesn't matter. It's kind of like it's like they're like, Joe, do you want to just put a disclaimer at the beginning of your show? And he's like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like that's like the best way to deal with that is just as long as you have a disclaimer saying like, yo, these aren't, you know what I mean? This is just like a guy, like he's a scientist, but like he's not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's not your
like
scientist. He doesn't. And either way, like just it's weird having to have a disclaimer at the beginning of a show to say people are different, things are different. Sometimes people are wrong. He says he's an expert. You know what I mean? Like, can he really honestly have people on the show that say like, this is Robert De Niro. He says he's an actor. You know what I mean? Like, because of like one time he's not an actor, or if he's like not acting on your show, he's like, what the fuck? You said he was an actor. I thought he was an actor.
Yeah.
Does he have to be an actor all the time just because that's how you introduce him, or is he allowed to be wrong?
Yeah, is he allowed to just be like a person?
But if you explain that somebody is an expert in a field, and then they start explaining information in that field, and you still like I said, like my point was, are you necessarily going to Neil? What was his name again? Neil. I almost call him Neil Diamond.
Neil Young.
Neil Young. Yeah. If you're going to Neil Young, and Neil Young says in a song, you should go to the doctor and get a shot that says you should get a polio vaccine, or you should do you should probably, but also still check into it. Don't get your fucking medical advice from entertainers in any sense.
Well, I think I think that's the problem is like Joe Rogan will have these like scientists or doctors or whatever on these kind of like fringe doctors, fringe scientists or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the people that listen to Joe Rogan, I mean, for the most part, like they can like if they're comics or they know that Joe Rogan is a comic or whatever, they know that, you know, this isn't, you know, the guy that I'm gonna go to for my answers. But like Joe Rogan has like a huge audience.
Yeah.
So there, you know, there's a lot of those people that are taking everything that's said on that podcast as like, well, no, this is true. Look, this is a scientist saying it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like
Right.
this is a doctor saying it, and they can't really like separate. Well, okay, but yeah, he's a doctor, but like, let me look into this doctor and see that, you know, he's been fucking barred for, you know,
Yeah.
studying all this fucking weird shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think. Well, that's the thing. Is like if it comes down to you having like even like the story I was talking about a little bit earlier with Whoopi Goldberg saying some crazy shit about the Holocaust on The View. If you
yeah, that was
just
pretty wild.
if you just stopped there and you said like,
Yeah,
wow, what Whoopi Goldberg just said about the View or about the Holocaust is different from what I've heard before, but I guess it's right.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
she should necessarily be fired. I think she should have to continue to talk in front of people so that people
Yeah,
continue to tell her how
explain
fucking
her
stupid
where
she
she's coming
sounds.
from a little bit more.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like shouldn't Joe Rogan expose wrong people to a bigger audience more?
Yeah, I that's see when every time he has one of these people on, like I'll listen and I'll see like, oh, okay, well this guy, he's I mean he's literally like exposing himself. He's fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like he's making himself sound even crazier. But like the thing is that there's people that believe that. I don't know. I only listen to Joe Rogan when he has like comics or like
Yeah.
UFC fighters or something like that on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when he has like a doctor or like a scientist or whatever, I just don't want to listen to
Yeah.
it because I know there's gonna be some fuck shit.
He honestly has like this is the weirdest thing. He has people on his show that are like, I'm a person that does fucking marathons for a living.
Yeah,
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, like, do you really honestly take every fact on there that has been shared? Like, it's kind of like sometimes it can just not be for you, or
yeah,
you can expose it. Like, just because you don't have the audience, you can help. I don't. I guess that's the thing. Is like it feels like people trying to save people from themselves, kind of thing. And I don't mean it in a sense that you shouldn't be. I don't think anybody should purposely spread misinformation, and I don't think Joe Rogan was doing that ever. But I think
no, I don't think I don't think he was intentionally doing
no,
it.
and that's the point. Is when it comes down to like your audience, you have such a big audience, you have a responsibility. I don't believe that. I don't think that's
Yeah,
a case. If anything, you should take as like I was saying earlier with Dominique kind of getting or like people getting their entertainment news. She doesn't really do that, but people getting their entertainment or their news or whatever it may be, current events, anything from like The View, you're going to get that and then immediately their take on it. So like
yeah,
if you're watching Joe Rogan talk to a person about COVID-19 and then you get their immediate take on it, if it sounds different or sounds new and you do no research and you just start sharing that as you're just exposing yourself as a stupid person. Like that's all
yeah,
that is. Like I don't understand that why that's a bad thing. Why like unless they were going to schools and teaching it to children as 100% fact and saying do this, I don't see the harm in it because humans like adults, people that are supposed to be allowed to listen to it are should be old enough to do their own fucking research. I would think,
to come up with their own. Yeah, yeah,
no matter
exactly.
what.
I think the same thing, Pat. I don't think you're wrong in thinking that.
Right. It's and that's the kind of the issue in general with like I don't think that Whoopi Goldberg should necessarily be taken off of the View just because of like wild shit she says, but
No,
she should be corrected for the wild shit she says. Like she's not
she
saying
should be killed. I agree. She should be
no,
murdered.
Manny, I don't believe that whatsoever. We got Big Preem pounding off in the comments. He says, "Don't look to entertainers for political or scientific advice. They're paid to what is that? To dance for us." Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. not to educate or direct opinions. Easy peasy. Yeah, super easy,
Yeah,
super simple.
exactly.
It can form your sensibilities or your opinions and stuff like that, but realize that they are your sensibilities and or opinions. They're not
Yeah,
the truth. I feel like every day there are less and less facts being acknowledged. There's less common sense a lot of times being expressed, and there's a lot of times where like shit like this, where it's not just in the sense of like, man, you should just do the right thing and only have experts on that say the thing I like. You know what I mean? But
yeah, yeah,
but a lot of times it's kind of like the best way I've heard it described is every time somebody says that, when they're referring to a smarter or more rational person, they're always lumping themselves in with that group. They never lump
right.
themselves in with the impulsive crazy people. And when you're
Yeah,
shouting about a third party saying something that doesn't involve you at all and you don't believe, and you didn't even watch, most of the people I've heard complain about this fucking Joe Rogan episode have not even watched it.
yeah. Well, that's the only people that complain about stuff is the people that get stuff like, you know what I mean. They get a clip or something out of context, and they're just like, oh well, this person is bad, and we should get rid of them. It's like, but yeah, have you listened to anything else? Did you listen to the
Yeah.
whole episode where he started making fun of the guy or something? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
It's all like it everything becomes subjective, unfortunately, and everything becomes political. So it's like it comes down to where we're talking about like Spotify, who again is a platform that provides a service to these artists. They don't owe anybody anything. They don't have to do
mm,
it. They can just say like, hey, we don't want to have this person on. We choose to have this person on. But the funny thing I thought was when so Dave Grohl owns the rights to his music, obviously. Uh, Joni Mitchell, I'm sure, probably owns the rights to her music. I don't know. And but when what's her face, the lady with the podcast, who is exclusively on Spotify, said, "Well, I'm not going to release any more episodes until something's done about this." She came back the next day and was like, "Well, I didn't mean I was gonna stop doing the podcast."
yeah.
And I
She
was like,
realized that she was losing money, and she's like, oh
"Yeah."
no.
I told Dominique, I was like, "Yeah, her podcast is exclusively on Spotify." And Spotify was probably
Yeah,
like, "No, you're not gonna pull your podcast up. We'll decide if you do it.
yeah.
You
So
have
that's the other thing too.
advertisers."
Is like these. I don't understand what these people are expecting. Like, you know, like Joe Rogan is one of the highest paid people that ever was on
Right.
Spotify. You know what I mean? Like they're giving him like millions of dollars, like a year or whatever. And
I
like
think it's
these like
150 million
kind of like
dollars.
nobody. Yeah, $100 million.
Yeah.
And these kind of like, you know, I'm not gonna call them nobodies, but like they're not they're not as popular. You know what I mean? They're not getting paid millions of dollars by Spotify.
Right. And
So like,
they weren't
and
asked to
Spotify's a
be there.
business. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, they weren't asked to be like Brene Brown was saying like we had a deal, and they said okay, you can have exclusivity rights here, but like
Yeah,
when it comes down to everybody else, with they were just like this is another service that we're on, and I think it's really only just to bring more publicity or more plays to another platform for them.
yeah,
It's really nothing else. But people that have an obligation to Spotify, like Brene Brown, were like, I think Spotify was like, no, you have advertising that you have obligations. We paid you money
yeah.
to do
You
this.
can't just leave because you're voiding a contract or whatever. Then you know
Yeah,
what I mean. And then that's going to get you in some legal trouble. You know, you can't just be like, okay, I quit. Especially if you do have, because it seems like someone like her would have some sort of like agreement with Spotify.
yeah,
You know, like especially if they're the ones that are like the only ones that have her.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and that's something that Spotify is going to be like, no, you signed the contract for like a year or
yeah,
two, and if you breach that contract, then we're going to get all your money. You know what I mean? We're going
yeah,
to fucking screw you over
yeah. You're gonna have
because
to.
you try to screw us over.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do that. You can't just use us as a protest.
Yeah,
Sarah says in the comments she's pounding off. She says the phrase "listen to both sides" is an important lesson. Yeah,
yeah,
it's very simple. It's just you can. I think like if anything, you could hear if you listen to um like if I used to, when I was working, I used to work delivery. I used to deliver medical supplies in Florida, and I would drive a box truck around all day. And then before I discovered podcast, I would listen to, because I like long conversations, like talking, and like that's how I kind of got my news and updates and all that stuff. I would listen to talk radio. So a lot of times I would listen to morning radio, usually Cowhead in the morning. Shout out to Cowhead out in Florida.
Nice.
And then I would listen to, in the afternoons, I would either listen to sports talk radio or political talk radio. I would flip, and I would listen to either one until I got so angry I couldn't listen anymore. And I would flip to another thing, and I would flip to another thing, and then afternoon radio would come on, and I would listen to it there. Like, so I think it had nothing to do. I would just listen to Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity or one of those motherfuckers or something like that, and I just listen to it until because I want to know what they're saying. I want to know what they're thinking, because I don't think like that. So if I'm listening to this, I never called in to say you're fucking wrong. I would just turn it off because I don't want to listen to it anymore. And I go click, and I go bye-bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're acknowledging that, hey, you know what, this isn't for me, but maybe there are people out there that, do get some kind of entertainment out of this. So who am I to be like, well, because I don't like this, it means you can't like this. You know what I mean?
I'm not right.
It's like,
wrong.
no,
I just disagree. I just disagree, and that's totally fine. And if more people could say there isn't necessarily a right or wrong, because at this point, I think we have to discover, now that they're saying like cloth masks don't work at all after fucking 2 years of fucking solid, you got to wear this fucking mask, pal. Hey, motherfucker, why aren't you wearing this mask? Hey, oh, by the way, that one doesn't even work. And you're like, then what the fuck have you been doing the whole time? This is what I'm saying, is how can you call it misinformation if you don't even know if it's misinformation or not?
Well, I mean, it is that is, but that's more of a, they kind of told us, like, and this is the thing that with this whole like mask thing and like COVID in general, that I feel like people forget about is when this started, like no one knew what the fuck to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even the doctors and stuff, they're like, yeah, this is brand new. We're trying to figure this out. So like, at first they were like, don't wear the mask because we need those for the doctors. And then they were like, okay, well, now you can wear the mask because, with this new information that we discovered, we found out that, even like a cloth mask would help a little bit. But then down the line, they find this new information that's like, oh, okay, well, actually the cloth mask doesn't work. But then you have people like, so what? You guys were lying to us before? It's like, no, they weren't lying. They said that they didn't know what it was.
Right.
And like, they were just trying to take precautions. But like people forget that, and they're like, "Look at this! This is the government lying." They fucking what? They changed their mind from the beginning. What, did they find new information or something? It's like, yes,
yeah. They're doing research. They're continuing their research on it, and that's what I'm saying. It's like is like, but my point is, for them reactionary, like right now, if I don't understand how somebody could tell Joe Rogan how like, you can't tell people to take that combination of medicine because that's wrong and that's not the right way to do it. And it's like, but Joe Rogan personally took that medicine and it made him feel better. How can he not give that as a suggestion? But in the same sense, I don't know if he's ever said this is the only way you should do it. Don't get a vaccine, only use this. But that's how everybody's treating it. And it's so frustrating because there's so much like, there's a connection being built by, it's guilt by association, I think, is the thing we're all fucking dealing with this, because of all of the dude bro Joe Rogan fans that everybody labels. They take the worst case scenario, like I do with Juggalos. They do the same thing with Joe Rogan fans, and they say, here's the dumbest idiot meathead fans that are, they're the same people that are like, there's people out there drinking bleach because the president said. Good. Let it happen.
Yeah, those people aren't cut out to live in this world anyway.
Yeah,
let them drink their bleach.
I would know if the president told me to drink a certain brand of orange juice. I would do my research and go, "What the fuck is up with that orange juice that you want me to drink?" You know what I mean? Like, well, I don't even understand how this is still an argument even still now, that you can say,
Yeah.
we need to completely silence this person because they're giving misinformation, when you
Mm,
are giving information technically that was misinformation until you did further research and found out more. So why not just
yeah.
let it hang there until somebody finds out why it's misinformation? Then just have that be the headline. Here's where it's wrong. I don't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, me neither, man. And it's like it's funny because like it's like the same people are the ones that are like, oh hey, don't believe everything you hear see on the internet, and then they're the ones that are like, well, hey man, this doctor on the internet said that this was fine, so
This is the same
like no, do
argument.
your own research, dude.
Right. This is the same argument I came up with when they ruined my fucking favorite bridge in Florida, Manny. They had
Oh yeah,
they had too many. They said too many suicides off of the Skyway Bridge, Sunshine Skyway Bridge,
I
and
like that bridge.
that connects. Yeah, it's a great bridge, love it. Um,
Yeah, it's very scary
it's
when
very
you're afraid of heights.
it is, and it's probably even more scary when you break down on top, which I think is
Yeah,
truly
holy
why they
shit.
actually wanted to put the fence up for safety precautions, but they put this fence up because they had too many jumpers, too many suicides there. And I told Dominique, I said, "Oh yeah, that'll solve the depression problem." Mike says this bridge is to die for. Absolutely, that's absolutely right, Mike. Mike's pounding off hardcore on YouTube.
Nice.
But no, they put this fence up, and I'm like, that's not going to solve the. That doesn't solve the depression problem. That doesn't
Yeah,
solve why were people jumping off the bridge initially. You can't just put a fence up and just block. It's like you have to deal with the issue of why would somebody listen to a podcaster and go, I'm going to go do that before doing any other research, whether it's with my personal physician or just my personal politics. If anything, if you're just blindly following somebody, that seems kind of crazy, like
yeah,
on either side. And it's my argument also with like religion. Like you can't, people that say like that there for sure isn't a god sound to me just as silly as when people say there for sure is a god. Like
yeah,
I don't know how that works, but it just
yeah,
it's one of those situations that if Neil, I keep calling him Neil Diamond, I don't know why I keep doing it, Neil Young says, like, here's what you need to do, here's how you need to live your life, and Joe Rogan says, here's how you should live your life, I don't think you should listen blindly to either one of them. I think you should probably live your life how it works best for you.
hmm
And that only comes with
I agree, Pat.
reflection.
That's
But
what we do here. You know, we I call in and we agree on things.
yeah, you know what? I think this show should be called I agree with everything that I say all the time because I'm right.
And so should you. And so
And
should
yeah,
you.
so should you. Listen to everything I
Take
say. Also,
yeah. Take everything I say to heart.
that's the show. That's the show. Who do you think you are? I
um,
am.
well, Pat, I got a batch here that I'm gonna accept, and
don't
I'm
want to
gonna
hang
go
up
do
on you
it.
now. Please
I'm
understand
gonna,
this,
I'm gonna
okay?
hang. Yeah.
He's gone. Don't worry, guys. Manny's gone. Anybody that's watching on Instagram, if you want to listen to that wonderful conversation that Manny, if you want to listen to Manny's side of the conversation, you're more than welcome to join us on YouTube, which is live as well, or you can join the show by join the show. You can subscribe to the show, audio only version, anytime you'd like. Anytime. What the fuck am I talking about? I'm trying to finish my thought in my head. I apologize. No, you can subscribe to the audio only version of the show wherever you get your podcast. Please subscribe, rate, review, do all that fun stuff because the feed is what I'm looking for to grow. I want to grow that audio only feed as big as I can because that's what I want. I don't want you to always necessarily have to look at me. I want the people, the peeps themselves, to be able to look at me when I'm actually broadcasting, but then you don't have to look at me after that. You can just set me down. You play me on your phone and go do whatever you want. Go wash the dishes. If you want to call in, if we cover a topic that you have a take on, you want to share your topic, you can call the show just like Manny just did, 717-559-2971 anytime you want. Leave a voicemail of your take. You can text the show at that number as well. You can text me your feelings about why we're wrong about this or why we're right, or what else? What else did we cover about why the Chiefs kingdom seems to bother me so much? And because Chiefs and Kings are different. And now that I know that Chiefs and Kings are different, I can grow. I can grow personally. So, hell yeah. GDP Live is here. Oh, so this weekend, past weekend, I had this to talk about on Monday, but we were supposed to go on our first ever. I was going to say joint. Well, she went tubing before, but I've never been tubing. We were going to go to Round Top with Gary Limoges and his lady friend. We were going to go, I think, with another group of people too. There was multiple people all headed to, I think it was Round Top. We were going to go to do tubing, and I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know. I made sure I got some snow pants. I actually got my snow pants in Florida at Target on sale. It's the weirdest purchase I think I've ever made on a vacation trip ever. When we were down visiting in Florida for Christmas, Dominique and I went to a Target, and we were just kind of looking around, just looking at stuff. That's actually usually the best place to get sports gear, I found. If you want to find, like, if you're visiting a place and you want to get some cheap, like if you're going to a football game, or even if you just say like, oh, I'm visiting Philly, I want to get a Flyers shirt while I'm here, or an Eagles shirt while I'm here, or something like that. Go to a Kmart, go to a Target, go to a Walmart. You'll usually find a pretty cool shirt or some kind of cool merch for relatively cheap. You don't have to spend a fuck ton of money, because a lot of times I've found when I couldn't find hardly any fucking Lightning stuff in the mall in Florida, in St. Pete, like 20 or 30 minutes from where the Tampa Bay Lightning actually play their home games. They don't actually have hardly any merch. Now, Dominique and I really wanted to assume it was right around Christmas time. Maybe they're sold out of a bunch of stuff. But either way, they didn't have a ton of selections, hats, or anything. I always like to buy my merch when I'm there. I like to try it on. I like to hold it, I like to feel it, see what it feels like. But been tubing on the water, but I'd never been on the snare before. So I was a little nervous. I didn't know exactly what to expect, but I was a little nervous, but it ended up getting canceled for weather. So hold on. Actually, I'm going to talk to you guys in a second. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and I'll be right back, because otherwise I'm going to be in pain and I might piss myself. And I don't have piss jug right here, so I'm going to have to find the music, and I will be right back in just a second. Is it weird that I time it perfectly with my pisses? I think it's kind of weird, but I try. So yeah, I tried. We tried to get a group of people together to go to Round Top for snow tubing this weekend, but we're unsuccessful. It was Gary Limoges' idea. He had the whole plan together, put the Facebook group together, all this stuff, and the morning of the trip, we were supposed to go on. Sorry. We were supposed to. That was the day. Nope, wrong one. That was the day that it was like zero. It felt like 0 degrees out, and it was like super windy. So that morning, I was getting ready to getting all the stuff ready to go and trying to get the house ready, get situated, get everything packed. Dom was ready to leave right from work if she needed to. Gary texted me and said, like, hey, do you want to just schedule this for another day? Because it's supposed to feel like 0 degrees out and it's supposed to be super windy today. I told him, sure. Because I have no prior knowledge of of exactly what it's supposed to be like. Like, I don't know what ideal conditions are for snow tubing. I don't know if it's like, I was preparing for it to suck a little bit. Because Dom has been tubing before. She went for kind of an impromptu tubing trip in New Hampshire when she went to visit her sister, and she went with. That's another thing too. I think you got to go with kids. I think if it's adults, it's too easy to just say, I don't feel like it, because really, legitimately, it's a choice. It's a choice to do something that is somewhat physically exerting yourself. It's not necessarily. It's cold. It's fun, but it's a lot of. I thought it was going to be a lot of work. I thought you have to carry the tube up the mountain. You gotta, because that's what it is at like a water park. That's the only experience I've had with tubing in water, really, aside from like a lake. So he's explaining, but I'm thinking, Gary's grown up around here. He must know that if it feels like 0 degrees and it's windy, it ain't tubing weather. So we trusted him. We took his advice. We said, yeah, we'll just reschedule. We'll try it another time. But we ended up going to a restaurant that at the beginning of the trip, at the beginning of our, just to make it the afternoon not a complete and total waste and still have somewhat of a social life, we decided instead Gary and his young lady friend and me and my young lady friend would be going to what was it called? Rubber Soul. And it was a place that I was like, man, this is great. See, you haven't been here. You haven't been here. Dom hasn't been here. This is great. We're going to try something new together. How about that? That's fun. It's a fun day. As adults, this is officially what constitutes a fun day. We are now officially eating a place we have never eaten before. So we get our appetizers, awesome. Some knockoff poutine shit, pretty solid ass goddamn pretzel rod that, if I'm being completely honest with everybody listening, probably would have eaten it all in one bite if I could. It was perfect. Amazing. Great pretzel. Amazing food. Got a fajita burrito. And I know this is going to be a hot take, guys. We've been doing fajitas wrong the whole entire time. Why are we doing all of the work? Every other thing you get it put together. Order some taco. Really, fajitas are just tacos that you have to. It's build your own taco, man. Which is usually nice, but it doesn't mean you don't get unlimited supplies. You get the finite amount of fajita, no matter what. Why are you fussing with it? If they throw that sumbitch in a burrito, roll it up perfectly. By the way, one of the best rolled burritos I've had since I've been in the state, which is saying something. Is it's that's the key. They get all the right ingredients in there. All the other, it's the best burrito I've ever had. So Dom gets fish and chip. Everybody loves their food. It was great. At the end of us eating, I think we had already paid the check, and we were getting ready to leave. I noticed when I looked over at some tables over by the front door, holy shit, I've been here before. I've eaten here before. I must have loved it, but it must not have been too memorable. I don't remember what I had. I don't remember exactly. I remember I was there with a friend of mine who's also named Patrick. He was there. He's the one that took me there for lunch, and actually, I think suggested it. The reason I realized that was because at the end of this meal, I was like, "This place is so good. I gotta suggest this place to Pat because he is gonna love it." And it turns out he already did a long time ago. So check out Rubber Soul. You'll forget about it and then go back there a couple years later and love it again. I don't know if that's a great slogan, but I think as far as wasted mountain trips, not doing. It was funny because I noticed at the end of the the meal, we were able to get refunded for our tickets for tubing that day, and we have rescheduled it, I believe, to the end of February. So we still get to a chance to hopefully go tubing before the season's end. But if not, we get to go to River Soul as well. But I realized we ended up spending about what we would have spent on the mountain, or actually literally what we spent on the tickets for the mountain. So that's cool. It wasn't a it's not a perfect exchange. It's not a perfect exchange for doing something that would have been somewhat physically exerting to just stuffing your face and drinking beer, but it's close. It's not bad. Good water. Loved it. Um, but before that, earlier in the week, we had a pretty fun call with my mom where she was for some reason calling this is the funniest part of it is the fact that when she was calling, I answered it. That's the funny part. But I answered the call because Dom and I were both in the car, so I went over the Bluetooth in the car, and the first thing I hear after I answer, before I even say hello, is my mom say, "I don't even know why I'm calling him." She picks up and says, and I go, "Oh, that's great." And then apparently I was also on speakerphone at her work, at her office, and they were checking in to make sure that we were going to be okay, or if we were getting any of the winter storm that was going to happen that weekend. At that time, I was not aware of any winter storm, so I was being notified at that time by my mom, who lived in Florida, that I was going to be affected by a winter. I think it ended up being some kind of weird something bomb, or it was like a temperature drop bomb. It basically where it just gets really fucking cold, and some places got snow, other places just got fucking cold. But she called, and we were telling her about our mountain trip, and I think just to worry her that much more. But I think the funniest part was the fact that she decided to call me, told me it was essentially like she was having the radio show, because she called me Bomb Cyclone. Thanks, appreciate it, Mike. Bomb Cyclone. And I still don't even know if we got hit by it. I don't know if that's what all that cold weather was, but some places were saying like they were like feels like -6 and all this other bullshit. So mom was calling to make sure that we didn't get bomb cycloned, and I still don't even know if we did. All I know is my mountain trip got ruined, and my mom doesn't know why she calls to check in on me. So fun weekend, great weekend, all around. I saw. I had one last thing that I wanted to talk about. That I don't know. It's a weird thing. This is how the wormhole. I feel like this is how a true fucked up mental wormhole works. I was again watching the list shows that I always watch. I've also taken not only to Nuke's top 5 for my ghost videos countdowns, but if you're interested in that, and this is probably where it kind of veered off to where I was getting those shocking video lists a lot on YouTube in my algorithm. But I was also getting suggestions for a young gentleman known as Slapped Ham. Colin with Slapped Ham. He's a British dude or something, maybe Australian. I don't know. I never know what their accents anymore. That counts down kind of much like Nuke. He just kind of compiles a list of fucked up videos, whether it be ghosts or haunted TikTok video, bullshit like that. Anything, whether it's an elaborate hoax or could be a real video, you're left to determine. That's what I like. But I was watching a Slapped Ham, and there was these two fat ghost hunter guys. They're like, I think they're brothers or they're related. Their YouTube channel is called Signs and Signals, if you want to check them out. But it's much the issue that I have with truly independent or DIY or self-shot POV porn. A lot of times you can know how terribly amateur it is just by hearing the audio of whatever video it may be. So these guys are doing an investigation. A lot of times it's kind of like rap concerts. You know what I mean? Your hip hops or any kind of rock concert. There's call and response. You kind of go, "Hey, I'm blah blah blah. I'm just here doing a quick investigation. If there's anybody here with me, say something. And then there's supposed to be silence. And then that's where you hear either, hey, yeah, I'm fucking here with you, or whatever, ghost shit, ghost sounds, EVPs. Somebody's supposed to answer back, but you don't necessarily hear it with your ear. That's the premise of that. But with these fat dudes, it's so terrible. You can always tell how amateur a porno is or a ghost hunting video or anything like that by the breathing into the fucking microphone. Hey, this is Mike with Signs and Signals. If there's anybody here with me, just let me know. How am I going to fucking hear anything? How can I hear anything the goddamn ghost is saying if you're just huffing into the mic? Catch your breath, homie. You know, I ran down to take a piss and I ran up here. I barely kept my breath. They're just walking through a house. They're walking forward in shorts. They're not, it doesn't seem to be particularly hot, and they're not even walking. I don't know how they got to where they are, but I don't know if a ghost could overpower them. But I just think that as far as investigating, either just let's get like a less sensitive mic, or maybe hold it away from your face. Say, hey, any ghosts here? Just put it just out here. Wouldn't that be awesome if I just got a ghost? But that wasn't the point. That's not the point. The point was this one seemed very much hoaxed, very, very faked, in my opinion. There was a music box that was just sitting on the floor in a room. Also, a lot of times with these abandoned houses and things, these two fat gentlemen were investigating an abandoned house that was that they heard somebody walking around in there. They did something in there. Whoa. And when they go into the house, into one of the rooms, you know, they hear this music playing, and they go into the room. There's nothing but just a music box sitting in the middle of the floor in the room. Obviously staged. Could have also just been a squatter. That's my thing with a lot of these abandoned house or urban explorer videos. I think there's just homeless people there. I think it's just a person, which is still scary. And again, that connects the ghost with the paranormal with the freaky video part. But this guy hears a music box, you know, heavy breathes into the room. I assume something exciting happens. I don't know. But a lot of times it's funny when they get scared because they fall down. So it's funny. But this got me thinking, music boxes. What are the copyright laws as far as songs put onto music boxes? Because it's so, first of all, much like ICP, the mechanics of it, their astonishment with magnets and things like that. I have the same astonishment with music boxes. I don't know how they do it. Even records. Records are still amazing to me. Records in general, the fact that you can fit a whole song on just like a smooth little weird disc like that. It's just strange to me. Lasers, once you bring lasers into it with CDs, then it's way out of my realm of thinking. But when there's just like a group, when there's two tactile things, you put this little nail on this little thing and it drags on it, and then you get like fucking like Between the Buried and Me. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy that you just get a new. It's astonishing to me, and I'm sure it's very easily like determined. I could figure out how it's made and how it's done. But you know what? It's magic to me, and I like it that way. But music boxes, it was playing a song. Somebody had to write that song. Then somebody had to make that little inside bell thing into however they do that, and turn it into a whole mechanism. At the end of it, if that ends up being a song that, like, is it only public domain? Can you put any song on a music box? And what are like the ramifications that if you put a song that you didn't have the rights to onto a music box, can you even get mad at the person because of how difficult it is? Now, I will say, I don't think I've ever heard a song on a music box and necessarily recognize it, except for your Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars or whatever that may be. But most of the time, they're pretty little songs. How do you get that sound? And is a music box an instrument? These are the I I don't know why I think like this. I don't know why. I don't know why my brain works like that. But I was thinking of the legality of music boxes while I was watching a fat ghost hunter uh, brave a room that he clearly set up as a fake ghost. The most crazy thing that I've seen in any of those countdown videos or anything like that is the weird ass fucking shapeshifter ones. And Casey, if you're down to talk about shapeshifters, we could talk about shapeshifters. So Friday afternoon, hopefully we'll have a guest on for Facebook Friday. The next week, hopefully we'll have even more guests. I'm looking to have as many people call in, join in, whether it be on Instagram, Facebook, or no, what did I say? Facebook. The voice, the Google Voice number 717-559-2971. If you ever want to call and leave a voice, if you say, Pat, I build music boxes. Here's how it works. I got to tell you, I don't know how many people you come in contact every day that would tell you this, but I would listen to and be immensely entertained by that explanation more than you'll ever know. Truly. I would be truly fascinated if you can tell me how and why music boxes work. Or if you just want to pound off about how you feel about Whoopi. Not necessarily, I don't necessarily need to know your feelings about the Holocaust. It's not a debate. But it's also kind of, I'm not going to cancel you. I'll listen to the message. I may not play it, but I'll listen to the message. If you want to text the show, you can text the show 717-559-2971 or email the show at babymermaidproductions@gmail.com. I'll check that email right now. Let me just see if I got any new emails here. Just to see. I set up an email for all the shows, but Manny didn't want me giving it out for Falls Count Anywhere because he didn't want actual emails. Trauma Hood. There it is. No. All right. No new ones there. Music box that plays Get Low by Lil Jon would be legit. Fuck yeah, dude. Get Low. I think if anything, like, because then I was thinking if you can just kind of put up a decoration, two forms of non-traditional music methods that I like: music box and the clock that plays a clock / doorbell. Let's say, because they're kind of the same thing. It's like the bell chime thing. But I always thought Raining Blood would be cool. Like if there's like don 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 na 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 like that, I think that would be that would be legit. But yeah, for sure, Get Low. Any really, can I just give a song like that's a business? Can I just send a song to a music boxman and they put any ballerina on it you want? I don't care. You can have anything on the top. I'm just talking about the music. So Sarah's pounding off real quick. Can't wait to stop by the Caddick on Friday. Fuck yeah, Sarah's confirmed. Friday afternoon, Sarah's going to be here live in the Caddick for Facebook Friday, GDPLive in the Caddick. Mike will be playing music. We got to figure this out, man. I think we gotta figure that. We also got to figure out that promo video for the next Shit in the Hat. Mike O'Daniel, I say that one. Mike O'Daniel is the host of Shit in the Hat. I talked about it a little bit earlier. It's honestly, it's my favorite thing that I've been doing in comedy recently. It's truly it is so much fun. It's exactly what I like about this show is what I like about Shit in the Hat. It's the interactive part of people being able to kind of give what, like, here, I want to hear jokes about this. I want to hear jokes about fucking poodles. So you write poodles on there and one of these motherfuckers will get the word poodle and they got to figure out something, the way, make poodles funny. I'm not writing poodles on this card, but that is You can write anything you want. You can give any suggestion you want, and the comics on stage are going to make it funny for you. So if you want to be involved in a cool comedy showcase, you can come down to the Harrisburg Comedy Zone on the 16th of February. It'll be hosted by the wonderful Mike O'Donnell, who's been pounding off in the comments. I appreciate it, Mike. And Manny, as well, the person that called in earlier, will be on the show, as well as many other great comics, including myself. Thank you so much to Mike for having me again. I am so appreciative. I've said it a million times. I wish every one of my sets could be like that. I wish I could rely on on people giving me things to talk about every time I go up there, because to be completely honest with you, I get so bored with the shit I talk about too. It gets boring. It's usually ends up being ghosts or something, or some kind of weird, stupid point like the Chiefs Kingdom thing. It just bugs the shit out of me. There's got to be a better name. And I'm not saying even the chief thing. If as long as whatever Native American or First Nationer may be, if they like, however they feel about the Chief, if they're cool with the Kansas City Chiefs being the Kansas City, I'm cool with that too. I'm just saying we got to change the name of the Chiefs Kingdom to something else. We got to live, because that doesn't work. And I see the problem. I see why there is a problem, but now we got to solve it, guys. Okay. So thanks for watching. Thanks for pounding off. Thanks for calling in, Manny. Thanks for joining in and pounding off on Instagram at Baby Mermaid Productions, on YouTube at Baby Mermaid Productions. Subscribe to the audio only feed. I love you all, and goodbye. See you guys. Bye. See you Friday. Bye.